everyone. Welcome to the Stir 716 podcast. Thank you for tuning in again with us. This is your co-host, the cool cousin Kim, and I have with me my co-host.
I am your co-host, Mrs. T, aka The Spark.
And I'm Natasha, aka The Doc.
And we are here today with the amazing, wonderful, handsome.
You're going to be blessed for that.
And he is single, ladies. He is single.
He's looking for his Ruth.
Yeah.
And he is a Boaz.
So we didn't even say his name yet.
Not a Boaz.
Mr. Andrew Cheatham, welcome to the Stir 716. We're so excited to have you on.
I appreciate you ladies having me on. As you guys all know, I'm a fan of all three of you. So
Thank you.
I had the pleasure of meeting you tonight, but I can tell we're going to have great conversations going forward, and we obviously worship the good Lord together. So,
yes.
So I appreciate it. So I appreciate you guys having me on. I can't wait.
All right. Well, we're going to jump right in. And listen, if you are watching right now, drop us. Listen, if you're a single lady right now, just go on and drop us a little line. Let us know what you think about
Let us know what you
Mr.
think
Cheatham.
about it.
Listen, I feel shy in this space right now. Let me tell you that. But listen, you haven't heard, it may be what you've seen, but you haven't heard anything yet. Let me tell you a little something about our brother Andrew right here. He is a lifelong Buffalo resident. He is a proud graduate of McKinley High School. McKinley High, hey, if you're from West New York, you know all about that. He served in the U.S. Army Reserve for several years before graduating from Buffalo State University. Mr. Cheatham started his career at Merrill Lynch. That's right, Merrill Lynch, as a financial advisor in 2018. His experience also includes work as as several wirehouses. So
Several.
I don't know exactly what that means, but we're going to find out what a wirehouse is.
Yes, sir.
Before moving into wealth management. Started at M&T Bank and then transitioned to Key Bank. He is a member of the African American KBING. I guess you're gonna have to let us know what that
I'll
is.
let you know what that is.
At Key Bank, where he serves as part of the leadership board as the business innovation officer, as well as the military KBING. And in 2013, he was the proud nominee of the Buffalo Black Achievers Award, as well as being a member of the nonprofits in the area. We are so excited to have you on. We know that you are an advocate for financial literacy, and that's why we want to talk to you today.
I love that. And first of all, whenever I do get married, I'm going to need you to make my intro.
All right.
I'm going to need you.
I'll be honored.
When I walk in the reception, the energy you just had right there, I need that. If I can have that intro for the rest of my life, I'll be great.
All right.
Just play this part on
Every
the
single time.
Exactly.
Every single time.
Oh my goodness. So I'm going to just jump right into our conversation. But first, I just want our audience, tell us something a little bit about yourself. Why wealth management? Why important right now in 2025?
So, part of the spirit of conversation we were having before. So for me, I grew up in North Buffalo, a part of Buffalo where, while there is a little bit of diversity, it is a mostly predominantly Caucasian neighborhood.
Yes.
And so I have always had a level of curiosity with how economics work, or how money moves. Because if you live in Buffalo, we'll be very, very honest, Buffalo's a very segregated city. So you can cross one part of a street and you can see the disparity between neighborhoods.
Right.
And so I'd always wondered, at a young age, why does this neighborhood not look like the one that I'm growing up in? And so I would go to certain family members' houses and their yard didn't look like mine, their house didn't look like my grandmother's house or my mother's. They didn't have the same access to certain things.
Okay.
And so my curiosity started to grow, and then when I was 13 years old, I went on a trip with my neighbor, my grandmother's neighbor, and his stepdad, and we went to Pennsylvania. And his stepdad's father heard me talking about specific things, and I was just asking questions. So he bought me a year-long subscription to The Economist magazine.
Wow.
And not only did I read that for every month for that year, but after I was done, when I was done with it, I asked my mom, I was like, hey, all the chores and stuff that I do, obviously still give me my bread, but, but if you could take
I need that.
But if you could take a portion of that, I wanted the Wall Street Journal, I wanted the New York Times, I wanted to just continue to hone my curiosity. And so I've always loved learning about these things. I've always learned, just wanted to know these facts, and I wanted to know, the why. right? Like I wanted to know the why, because outside of slavery, right? Like when you take away slavery, it's like a Rubik's cube. In the story of black people, every color has its own section,
Wow.
like a Rubik's cube.
Okay.
So you have to put that cube together to really get the full story.
Right.
And so I started doing that as I got older. And then when you start pulling the layers back, you really seen like how deep it went. And so I wanted to get into wealth management, because obviously as you get into it, you realize it's like a great career once you really get into it. But there's not a lot of people who look like me who do what I do, right? So I wanted to try and push that envelope and, you know, kind of just be a face that our people could feel comfortable with when they have questions like that.
That's cool. That's cool. Wow.
Listen, that is so powerful and so deep.
Yeah.
Because when you talk about the wealth gap and just even the generational wealth gap and that analogy you gave with the Rubik's Cube and just even race, seeing how far removed black people tend to be from money and understanding how money moves, what would you say has been your experience in being a private banker with those either, I'm just saying Buffalo, I would say experience the lower end of the generational wealth gap. What has that been like?
So being in a hybrid role like mine, because I operate as a investment advisor and a private banker, so I operate as a banker for my investment clients. And so obviously being an advisor for so long and then coming to the hybrid role, you realize just how large the gap is by the gap in clients you have that look like you. So if I even went from a percentage standpoint, I would say probably less than 3% of my clients are black.
Are black.
Wow.
And so when you really continue to look onto it, you look at the average amount of money that a Caucasian family may invest versus a black family. And then when you really look at studies that have been done, while a lot of numbers are always thrown out, and people say numbers, numbers don't lie, numbers do lie. Because you can manipulate numbers very easily.
Absolutely.
From a research perspective, I
You
learned
can,
that.
you can manipulate numbers very
Absolutely.
easily. But there was a study that was done, and what that study showed was that if freed African Americans, if we got our 40 acres and a mule, it would have generated well over $14 trillion in wealth. Because you have to remember at that time, land appreciates. So African Americans would be able to use land as collateral for business loans, grow crops, build houses on these land, like specific things that will allow them to generate their own wealth. And even then, the wealth gap right now between African Americans and Caucasians is estimated to be $15 trillion.
And let's go a step
Isn't
further.
that something like that?
You ain't give us the 40 acres and a mule, but if you had allowed us to use the GI Bill, that would have also helped close the generational gap.
Absolutely.
And a lot of African Americans.
And you
cannot
served
use
in the
GI Bill.
military,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
I have a brother that served in Iraq, right? And he
Yes.
has been able to do great things with the GI Bill, go back to
Absolutely.
school, pay off his tuition, buy a house, do all of this. They didn't have access to that opportunity. They were being denied access to
Absolutely.
using their GI Bill.
And a lot of things that have contributed to the wealth gap is specific things that make it very hard, right? So redlining.
Yes.
Redlining. So having access.
Blockbusting.
Redlining, like having access to neighborhoods that where the homes would appreciate and value more. Instead of you being pushed to a neighborhood where the land wasn't as fertile, there was environmental issues.
Absolutely.
You were near a plant. You were near a nuclear site. You were near something where there was a lot of waste. The water
Niagara
wasn't
Falls
as good.
today.
Right, Niagara Falls today. So,
Gosh.
and then also the financial literacy part. A lot of financial literacy was purposely kept out of black neighborhoods.
Absolutely.
So there was an understanding that just was not there. And then when you look at predatory lending, and then when you look at discriminatory banking practices, these are all things that contributed to a lot of the standing that we have. But also, the caveat to that is also that when we do research, and I know you know this better than I do, but like research has shown that trauma is passed on.
Absolutely.
So you have 300 plus years of trauma that was continuously passed on. And then when these generational curses are trying to be broken, you have some of the same old that happens, right?
There's a pre-genetic disposition to trauma and stress. So even in the womb, that trauma, that stress is being carried. And so, Andrew, you spoke about a lot of things that some viewers may say is out of our control. But we know that there are some things that are within our control, and that's marriage. Right. You mentioned that 3% of your clients happen to be black. We also understand data says that over 70, a little bit over 74% of wealth is achieved as married through marriage.
Right.
74% higher than that of singles. Can you talk a little bit about the percentage of your clients that are married and maybe just give us a rough ballpark figure of their wealth? Because if I'm not mistaken, you deal with clients with a portfolio of 1 million or over, right?
Yeah, so the minimum to even have an investment conversation or open an account with my partner and I at the institution that we work at is $50,000.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, I deal with
And that's not how much you make a year. You just have to have that.
You have to have that.
Okay.
That's got to be in your bank.
Right, now we have clients that have like more than that, and then
Right.
if we have clients that reach a certain threshold, they then work with us, but they also work with a higher level that has access to different investment opportunities. But I would say a good percentage of my clients are married. Now, if they're on their first marriage, it's not my business. But,
Right.
but they're married.
But they're married. That's
But I think the one thing that people don't understand is that in order for a people to navigate the hole that they're in, there has to be a partnership to dig yourself out.
okay.
Right? If you're in a well by yourself, there's only so much you can do
Exactly.
to get yourself out of the
Literally,
well.
that help.
Literally.
Literally,
Yes.
there's only so much you can do to
You
get
need
yourself
that
out.
assistance.
And so for African Americans specifically, we can't have the same discord as other races when it comes to marriage, right?
Or even the same divorce
Or the
rates.
same divorce rates, right?
Right.
It is insane to me that our divorce rates are so high, but we are the smallest part of the population of citizens, right?
Yes,
Like,
Right.
we can go into the conversation about undocumented, but
Yes.
the numbers are just they get fluffed, right?
Right.
Right.
But for African Americans, like we can't think the same way that other races do because we are in a hole that we're trying to take ourselves out of while still navigating certain things that may be against us, right? So in this day and age, people look at marriage as a prison instead of a foundation.
So good.
That's-
Can you
say that again?
No, people really do look at prison as
Right.
people look at marriage as a prison
As
instead
a
of a
prison,
foundation.
right.
I don't walk through life telling myself that, oh, when I get married, I'm not gonna have any freedom. I look at it when I get married, I'm gonna have somebody to bounce ideas off. I'm gonna have somebody who may believe in my
Right.
ideas, so
They work together. To
work
build.
together, right? And
Right.
even from a biblical standpoint, right? Keyword, the right woman as a man.
All right. Say that right.
The right woman, you obtain a level of stability and a level of discipline
That's right.
that allows you to focus on the things and the purpose that God has given you.
And they also say, I'm gonna just throw this in there, that married people are healthier than single people.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something
Okay.
else too. I'm gonna tell you something else. When you are in the corporate space, if you are an unmarried man, the higher you get up on the ladder, the more conversations are, "Where's your wife?"
Oh yes.
Because as you get higher on a corporate ladder,
That's on business. Yes.
they want you to be married because they want to know that you have a stable household.
Listen,
Wow.
let's just be real here for a minute.
This
You
is
guys,
so good.
you guys have watched the other episodes, right?
Yes.
So refer back to that if you're looking for more professionalism, because we're about to get real on the stir. We're about to stir.
Yes.
What you just said shows us that corporate has set a standard that the church has failed to set. You got a lot of men preaching that ain't married. You got a lot of men being ordained that aren't married. And now I'm not saying it's not okay, but there's a standard because the corporate wants to make sure that these men are stable, that you can
Right,
also be
right,
trusted. Now
right.
I heard y'all on this in words.
You heard him in the
in the
spirit.
words of our leader.
You get.
I heard y'all on this.
We heard you in the spirit.
While some married men may still cheat and do infidelities,
Yes.
and we know that one of these CEOs was caught at pole
Right.
play, whatever.
Yeah.
We understand things happen within marriage, but those
Reckless.
right,
Stupid.
very crazy.
You made yourself look crazy just by ducking. You should have just stood there.
And the sad part about it is
Attention to it.
he'll go on and be a CEO of another company once this quiets down.
Absolutely.
She may never ever get another job, because I'm gonna tell you one of the other benefits that come with being married, because I know if my husband is on the board or running a company, I'm gonna tell him, don't hire her.
Yeah, but
Don't hire her.
But see, I think what a lot of people also don't understand about marriage and business and wealth is you're pooling assets and you're pooling resources.
Together.
If I am married and I have a business idea, but I'm the idea man, but the execution is something that I don't know how to do, but my wife's father-in-law has connections and experience in the idea that I have,
Right.
I can go to my wife's father-in-law if I'm married and I can say, hey, listen, I have this idea based on where the trend is going, on where the opportunity is for us to fulfill a need.
Right.
But I don't have the same infrastructure that you do.
I think
Right,
I
and
think
that's a part of networking within business. You know, it's something that we do lack in our community.
A lot of people say
We do.
a lot of deals are made on the golf course,
Yes.
but
Oh,
yes.
a lot of deals and partnerships are solidified through the wives.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's the
Isn't
point that
that
I really wanted to
absolutely?
drive home about the standard that corporate has set for marriage, that the church has not set or enforced. And I think that's had made the church stagnant even in the wealth building, and the divorce rates even higher amongst those that are married.
But I'm gonna say I'm gonna say this.
Say it.
Preachers, don't DM me, please don't.
Yeah, right.
Put it in our account. Put it in our account.
In other churches.
And I'm going to preface this by saying
Right.
the church that we go to, for me, doesn't have this particular problem with the statement I'm
I
saying.
agree.
They don't have this particular problem. But churches nowadays, especially ones that are trying to go viral, they cater to women. And so you cannot expect men to come to a church where they are constantly made the problem while not addressing the other side that
Give us an
contributes
give us an
to
example.
the problem.
Right. When you say that, like she's saying, give an example when you're talking about that, because some people may hear that and go left. So,
Yeah.
And I know the example here about the
Right.
kids.
We may
I
know.
wanna hear it.
We
What-
may know,
what-
but
what
we may know,
says-
but I need for him to clarify.
What sayest thou, Andrew?
Because you can't have a church that biblically talks about marriage and what a man is supposed to do, and does not also talk about the responsibilities of the wife. And what I mean by that is men have constantly been berated with, we are supposed to bring home all the money, protect, provide, and do all these things, but provision, the word provision has been distorted and manipulated so much, right? A man is just more than his wallet.
Agreed.
Agreed.
I don't want you to,
Agreed.
I don't want my leadership to be tied to my paycheck.
But this is what the church
But
is
did you
taught
notice
us.
all of us
Not
gasped
our
when he said
church.
that? Did you notice all of us gasped when he said that? When he said that, you know, as a man is not just his wallet. We all were like, because we've heard, and we are all three sitting here as women of, you and I are the same age group. We've heard that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And been taught
27.
that.
That's
Yeah.
it. I know.
We've been taught that. So you speaking on that and encouraging people to think outside of that negative thought. Because I think a lot of it is negative thought that we have in our community.
Correct.
When it comes to monies and investment. We have this fear in us that has been taught that you keep your money,
Even if it's under a mattress.
even if it's under a mattress.
It's
Do
the
not
truth.
put your money under a mattress.
No, because
we don't want that. But you know the elders. The elders
You heard
have
me,
taught
Tasha?
that.
But it's real
I'm
though.
gonna find it. Don't
Right,
But no, but it's real.
Like a lot of our elders
Yes.
have taught us that.
Yes.
That keep your
I'm a-
money.
I'm
You
gonna say
know?
this, right, to your point, right? And knowing you and your husband personally, I'm not gonna obviously divulge all the stuff I know.
Right.
Having a relationship with you two. If your husband and you walk into a room, or he brings you to a business meeting, he has full confidence in you that you are going to help the directive that he set forth for
Right.
you guys to achieve the goal together.
Yes.
And he knows that he can use you as a sounding board, and that as a godly woman, you're going to give him good advice, because outside of God, no one has a man's ear like his wife.
And
that
that
is
true.
and that
And
goes
that
with
is
anything,
true.
because we'll go a step. We'll take it a step. I always say a step further. Whatever.
Whatever,
A step
whatever it is.
Whatever, I know what you're saying. We know what we got you.
Use
sis.
Natasha as an example, even with that. Our relationship started just as a shepherd staff in church. This wasn't, hey, I know Tasha does this and that.
Yeah.
Our church is so big, I didn't even know Tasha existed, and that's real. But through our relationship, my husband was able to get mentorship from her husband that he wouldn't have necessarily
Gotten
went and did on his own. And I, as a woman, I'm about to walk over and be like, hey, Mr. Marcus, can you mentor my husband? But Uncle Marcus, as I call him, trusts his wife enough to say, hey, and Uncle Marcus has seen our relationship to say, okay, I'm going to deal with this young man. You understand? And provide him mentorship.
Right.
So I say all that to say, the woman holds the man's ear on a lot of things with wealth, his friendships, what he eats, the diet of the house. A lot of things is contingent upon the woman that you're married to.
I agree.
And I think from a wealth perspective, I think that what also is a big thing is that when you are building wealth and you're navigating the building of wealth, you have to have someone who's with you that you know is not going to squander away your resources. And what I mean by that is, if you have a business idea, if your husband has a business idea, and I mean he's made the business plan, he tells you like, I really, really believe in this, but like, I need you to ride with me because things are going to be a little tight for 6 months so that we can fund this
That's
thing.
right. That's right.
He has to believe in you to do that.
Yes.
And one of the other things,
Trust.
and trust. And one of the other things that,
Right.
like, one of the other things that other groups do that we don't, when it comes to the marriage point, is group economics.
Listen, you know,
Yeah, we can
that's
really
a
elaborate on
whole
that.
that's a whole nother
That's a-
topic for any
right.
Caribbeans following, right? We know
Yeah.
about Susu. That's the one of the basic forms of group economics. But I want to go back to something because I know if I was listening right now, I'm like, wait, go back to that. We were talking about the church, not our church. For those of you who know us, we go to church, so not our church. So when we say the church, right?
Yeah, I'm not trying to get run down on it.
Right,
No, no, we're not.
definitely
Yeah,
not. And we go to church on Sunday, so.
We're talking in general. We're
Just
just
in
I'm talking in general, the church,
Yeah,
the
right.
ecclesia, right?
Yes,
the
right.
church universal
Right.
caters to women, like you said, right? And they know how to emotionally rile us up and get us there. And constantly talking about what the man needs to do and not what the woman needs to do. And as you were giving us that example of what, you know, the mandates that are put on men versus women, I wanted to talk about the poor eisegesis and exegesis of the text of the preachers, right?
Sure.
Because we're constantly talking about or being taught from the preacher that Adam had a job before he met Eve, and he had the whole garden, and then we love to preach about Boaz, right? And Ruth, you know, gathering the sheaves, and that's how she was able to reach this rich man. And so it's always talking about the man and his wealth, and the subjugation or the anti-submission, or rather the inability to submit of the woman. So those are the two things that usually go hand in hand: the man and his wealth, the woman and submission or subjugation rather. And so I just really wanted you to talk about some of the things, especially being single and you are looking for a wife, right? And as you should, because men look for wives. We are to be found. We don't go looking,
Would you
right?
say that again for the young girl?
We are to be found, okay?
Right.
I don't care if he finds you on social media.
That's right.
So that means you don't be in his DM. He should DM you, and that's right. My husband did DM me. Shout out. Like, yep, he slid in the DM.
He's raw for that.
So tell us, as a man who's looking for his favor and not just, you know, this wealth, monetary favor, but all that comes with favor: favor of health, favor of peace, favor of joy, right? All that favor. What are some things that a woman should be doing? What does a helpmeet mean to you? And especially you not wanting to be associated with your money.
I pay attention to how a woman carries herself outside and inside the church. What I mean by that is, are you vain? Are you very vain?
Wow.
Do you need constant attention?
And now break this down for us, because we want to help the people. Because another thing the church teaches: make sure your hair is done, make sure your nails is done, make sure you always look good for this man. Like, wake up looking like Queen Elizabeth
Yeah, the
cooking.
presentation.
Does vanity look like you
No.
when you putting it all together, or what?
No.
You
What's
mean?
that?
I walk out of the house making sure I look presentable and I smell good.
Sure,
All the
absolutely.
time.
Absolutely.
but social media has heightened the narcissism in our population. People always want to be seen. People will do anything for attention, even posting moments.
Right.
I will never. I've done some really crazy things in my life. I really have. I won't lie. And
We
say,
all have.
I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it seem like I'm holier than thou.
Right.
Right.
I would never post myself just praying on the internet.
How would you do that? You got to be.
I won't. Like I won't.
But people
I won't-
do. But people do.
You gonna sit the phone down and
They absolutely do.
spending time with God is me spending time with God. Now, if I'm
Yes.
evangelizing to people,
That's different.
Right.
That's
but
different.
when it comes to vanity, though,
Yeah.
social media has made people feel like that all the likes and all the attention that they get is good. I personally have never felt comfortable with someone that needs constant attention,
Okay.
outside validation, right? Like outside
Right.
validation.
Right. You should validate yourself.
If you feel like you look good, I'm not saying don't post a picture. I'm not saying that at all.
Yeah.
But at some point, there has to be a level of like, why am I constantly doing this?
Okay, now once y'all dating and she
Right.
married, can she post your pictures of y'all a lot?
Yeah,
Okay.
of us, but
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
relax.
Not like you're sick.
Right.
Yeah.
Not every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, like,
not
relax,
every
though.
moment.
Just ate breakfast.
And when you talk
Get the
about
Just ate
and
lunch.
when,
Right.
when you say vain, because I'm
Goodness.
going to go into that because I always talk about this too. When you said, okay, you know, when people come to the church and people tell them, oh, you got your hair has to be nice. People take come as you are as that
They take
it's
it
all
literal.
about outward appearance. No, it's about come broken because I'm
That's
here to
it.
give you, heal you. You know what I'm
You just said
saying?
it.
Spiritually.
Come as you are doesn't
Come
mean
as
the
you
way you
are
are dressed.
Not as you dress, but you gotta be
It's
presentable.
everything.
You gotta be
It's
presentable
everything.
because some people come to church that they look like they just came out of the club.
but I will
I'm not
say this
saying
though.
that.
I will say, and that's for sure. But I will say this though, right? And this probably might get me in trouble,
Go ahead.
which is fine.
It's fine. It's
You-
the start.
It's the
This is
start.
good
You-
trouble.
I'm like,
It's good trouble.
It's good
You
trouble. It's good trouble. It's
you
talk.
should not.
Discussion.
You should not feel comfortable just because you found love, letting yourself completely fall off.
I agree.
Oh yeah. I
At
agree.
some point, you have to have a level of pride. Like, I want to look good for my partner.
Yes.
I'm not gonna get married and then stop working out. I want my girl to
Right.
always say, "Babe, you got muscles." Yes, I do. Yes, I
Yeah.
do. Come feel my
You gotta-
arms.
we gotta-
Come,
You
rub.
gotta accept them as they
I'm
are.
gonna, I'm gonna,
Yes.
I'm gonna accept you as you are, but it also
You
comes
don't
to a
want
point where
them
like,
comfortable.
I also want the best for you, right? Because I'm
Absolutely.
gonna try to
Sure.
present my best self,
Exactly.
right? And so when they say keep your nails done, your hair's done, and everything like that, of course, right? Like, of course.
Because shouldn't you be doing that?
I'm gonna be
Especially
doing the
if you met
same
her?
thing. Yeah.
And that's
I'm
another
doing
thing
the
I want to
same
say,
thing.
ladies. I want to address something because I've had some friends that had set standards for men that they cannot even set for themselves. Okay?
Absolutely.
If you don't eat steak and lobster right now, and this is my personal opinion, and call me a pick me, come fight me.
Right.
If you can't
But you're entitled to
eat,
that.
if you don't eat steak and lobsters, don't expect that man to buy you steak and lobsters. And I'm raising a young man, right? Better not, do not put that demand on my son. You understand? Especially if you're not eating steak and lobsters. I don't even care if your dad bought you steak and lobsters. If you 25 and older and can't buy your own steak and lobsters, don't put those kind of demands on a man. If you
And-
aren't getting your nails done, and you know, a man should be able to maintain you. You understand? But he doesn't have to overdo it. That's just what
I
I
want to
feel.
say something that we had said earlier too, like when you talk about the wealth conversation.
Right.
We are so far behind
Yes.
that, in my personal opinion, there are certain conversations that we should just not be having.
Okay.
There's no reason for anybody in 2025 to think that anybody realistically
Anything for them.
can handle all of the expenses by themselves.
I
agree with you. I
There's
agree
a-
with you.
And the caveat to, before you guys go crazy in the comments, the caveat to that is, some of you say that you can find a person that can do that. You're talking about the top 5% of the population, top 10% of the population, right? When we're talking about wealth building, and we're talking about where African Americans are, like, we have to set a solid foundation.
Because if you're a woman making $50,000 a year, and that's not really a lot, right?
No, absolutely.
But you found a man like Drew, who says you don't have to pay the mortgage or the rent, whatever, right? In your head, you should be thinking, my $50,000, which might be $4,000 or $3,000 something a month, is not going to mortgage or rent anymore if you're renting, right? Because now you're going to move in with him. That means your money gets reallocated to either investments and saving, right? Or putting more in your 401k or whatever slice Drew
Your
is telling you
husband
your
decides.
husband decides you will handle. And this is where we're missing out as black women. Right? Because
Yeah.
all of this stuff we've
I
been thought
agree.
in
But he's
theology,
also
oh, he ain't making enough.
But he's
I need
also
more.
saying
That's right.
don't
I
come
agree.
in with this high expectation, right? Because what tends to happen, like he was saying, alluding to, is that okay, she found somebody that she feel, oh, I can be, oh my God, he makes
Right.
this. He said, I don't have to pay this. I can get comfortable. He didn't say get comfortable to go spend X, Y, and Z. Because the problem that we are having in our community, we are so quick to be house poor,
Ooh, listen.
okay? And
She said it, not me.
Look,
I mean, it just is what it is. You know, it's,
It is.
when you was looking at investments, how many people are looking at it as though they have this capital or this money set aside? When you're saying that someone has to come to you with $50,000 in the bank, it's not many of us that can come with that. There's some that do.
Yeah.
I know many that do. They just don't go see an investor. But you can't come into something with an expectation and you're not coming with anything also.
And the point I was trying to make when he's talking about partnership and wealth, and really as it pertains to black people, because understanding that 3% of his clients are black and that wealth is tied to marriage, you
Right.
understand? If here's a man that's saying you don't have to pay rent or
Right.
mortgage, and you're making about $4,000 a month, no, you're not coming in to now be like, oh, that's $4,000 I could buy a Louis Vuitton bag with.
Exactly, that's
No,
what I'm saying.
that is $4,000 that now as you
Right.
discuss with your husband,
Yeah.
I've been looking to buy real estate, but since
Right.
I've always had to pay rent and take care of this
Yeah.
and take care of that,
That's
and
right.
you've helped alleviate that burden from me,
Right.
is there anything that you think would be a good investment that we could put my money towards?
in, that we're going to get
And
some
even,
type of.
and even as a man, if you ever, like for me, if you have a realistic conversation, right? I mean, buying a home right now is extremely expensive.
yes.
Interest rates are high. Average price of a
Yes.
home is very, very high.
Immigrants now that come into the country they couldn't
Right.
get food stamps and things like that, so they worked, right? And I seen my dad being the only black at his job, and sometimes he would get laid off, and they'll call him back and stuff like that. But my mother held it down, and never did she demasculate him at all. Oh, you gotta go find something else because you got laid off. My mother held it down. So I grew up seeing that a woman holds a man down. He may not be coming in making $60,000 a day,
Right,
but we're
right.
gonna build together. That's what I grew up seeing, building together. But I'm gonna go back to we had a conversation earlier where you talked about foundation.
We agree.
So let me go. So let me ask you this question because it's paramount
Get
about.
some water for you.
Sure.
All right, Moses.
It's about foundation and building that and setting that foundation, which alludes to what you do.
Mhm.
When you said so, as an investment banker, what type of community outreach do you do? You mentioned it earlier, and it's very important. I want people to listen to this. When you talk about what you do and speak to whom, what population you go and speak
Oh
to.
yeah, so
I love it.
I'm part of a program that I do with my job, a colleague and I. We kind of started it last year, and we go to a specific jail once a month, and we just have a financial literacy conversation with them. But the inmates, I don't go in there with a script. I just say, my colleague and I, last time we went, we said, what do you guys want to know? And we sat at the table and we just talked to them. And I do speaking engagements a lot around Buffalo, just about like the wealth gap and things like that. But I think the reason why I do it so much is because, number one, I can talk about economics and this stuff to nauseam. I love having information.
Right.
But the other part is, for me, I don't ever want anybody to feel like they got left behind because of a mistake. Now, granted, some mistakes are worse than others,
Yes.
but a lot of these times the information that they get, they hold on to it, and it's very empowering to them.
And oftentimes entrepreneurship is going to be the best route to reentry and reducing the rates of recidivism,
Right.
because some people aren't willing to hire,
Yeah. But they can use that as when they get out,
ex-felon.
is what I'm alluding to, is generational wealth is what I'm alluding to. Because the foundation is set. Even though they made a mistake in the past, and we all made mistakes, we just didn't get that far as a mistake to be, you know, behind bars and stuff like that, and get lives taken, years taken away. But when they come out, they can set an example, start somewhere to set an example for the generation that's coming
And
behind
especially
them.
for blacks that are incarcerated, because I'm gonna tell you this, I didn't grow up in the Caribbean, but being first generation American, parents who came here at an older age, so not first generation American, my mom came here when she was 5, dad came when she was 5, they were in their 20s, right?
Exactly.
The mafia understands this, other ethnicities understand this,
Yes.
but we don't seem to understand this, and this is whether they're selling drugs, whether they're committing other crimes, okay? They got the house in mom's name, they got the BMW and the Porsche in a brother's name or aunt's name. There's things being moved around. There's a reason why before the actual case they let you out to get your affairs in order.
Right.
Right?
Right.
We usually don't have affairs to put in order. So when we come out, because we was already moving so selfish, yeah, we might buy mama a house, we might buy so-and-so a car, we done made it rain on everybody, but we really didn't put our affairs in order, so now you come out and you completely broke.
Right. Because, you know, we're not, trust and believe, we're not encouraging criminal behavior. But they have used, the ones that you just spoke about, they have used that criminal behavior activity to build generation wealth. Because look when the other shows they had, Mob Wives or the Kids of Mobsters, those kids were living off of monies that their parents who were part of that criminal activity. But again, it was longevity money. We, like you said, we get out, we had all this big money prior to, but we never thought to invest in something that when you do come out, you can utilize that money to invest in something else.
Well, simply putting it in somebody else's name.
Or either just to show the next generation, even though I did this bad thing or whatever, don't be held to that. But you know, we can invest in something, but we just don't have that. So how would you encourage, you know, someone that's looking, that's a young person that may come from a situation where their father is not around, they didn't have that foundation. What would be your words of encouragement for those type of individuals that are listening?
Or someone from prison watching you right now.
Yeah.
Where you're at right now is not where you're going to be in the future.
That's it.
And
I believe it.
And the biggest thing is that, I mean, you know, for me, like where I came from, I grew up in a nice neighborhood, but that doesn't mean that my whole life was nice. Right? Like, so I'm thankful for the mother that I had and the people in my family, but there were a lot of things that I had to learn myself because there was a lack of.
Some subscriptions help too.
Yeah, the subscriptions would help. But it was a lack of guidance. But you have to have a natural natural thirst for knowledge. And you also have to push yourself to want to know it, right? So no matter where you're starting off at, just know that there always is a starting point.
Yeah.
If you want to invest your money,
Yeah.
start taking $10, $15, $20, $25 a week or bi-weekly or however you need to do it, and just set it aside and then learn how to buy stocks when you want to. If you have a certain place that you want to reach, like just slowly start learning about it, right?
And I'm glad you're saying that because we spoke about the $50,000 clients that you deal with, but we want people to know that if you're listening to him, what he's saying is that it doesn't have to be that large amount to invest in something. You said $25, $50, you know, that you were going to waste on something else. Put that aside to have something so when you're ready to do a big investment, you have that.
And I would add that, and I know we have to close, but I would add that, you know, invest in yourself. Sometimes we say put things away and don't invest, you know, you got something invested or save it. But if you don't have the ability to do that, just invest in yourself. Take a class, learn a skill, do something.
Proverbs 13:4
really,
said that the soul of the sluggard craves and gets nothing. And you know, I really think this conversation went by way too fast.
We gotta do a part 2.
We have to do a part 2 again because we really
have to.
We really didn't get into the granulars of potential clients that may be watching, but y'all can go look him up. Find him on LinkedIn. All of that is going to be in the bio of this video on Spotify and on YouTube.
And also in the comments, if questions that you want to ask for part 2,
Yes.
Put that in the comments that we can ask, because he's gonna come back
And
on for part
topics
two,
that
and
you
topics
can help
that you
us.
If
guys
you have any
want to
questions for
hear.
Andrew, put that in the
And
comments.
yes, and just any topics that you guys want us to discuss, let us know. Put it in the comments.
Love
You
it.
know, we look through all the comments and we will address those as such.
Don't just be like, it's boring, I didn't like that. If you feeling it and you think it's a vibe, I don't care if you're the dean of a university or you're the janitor at the university. If there's something you want to talk about, let us know. Well, trust me, we have a Rolodex of high profile networking people that we can bring on, and also people that are everyday Joes. So with that being said,
That's
thank
it.
you for
Thank
tuning
you.
into the stir. We hope we stirred it up with Andrew.
Yes,
Before we
this
leave
was
out,
amazing.
I do want to ask Andrew,
Yeah.
where can people find you?
Yes,
Right,
right.
your social media handles.
Yes.
And what is something you want people to know about Andrew before we close out?
So for me, first for my social media, you can find me on LinkedIn, Andrew Cheatham, Andrew Lavelle Cheatham on LinkedIn, and then on Instagram, Drew Lavelle, so Lavelle. And the one thing about me is the one thing I tell everybody to do. It is none of us are perfect. I'm not saying I'm perfect at doing this. I have fallen short multiple times, but pray about everything.
Ooh.
Everything.
Absolutely.
I love that takeaway.
That's a foundation in itself.
I ask for guidance in everything I do, and even when I feel like I can't hear God, I don't stop talking to Him.
All right now.
It's like a parent. Just because you're crying doesn't mean you're gonna stop crying to your father, right?
Right, that's
So
right.
I
that's
don't.
right.
Listen. If God is not speaking to me now, it does not mean that the conversation is not being had. Even if the conversation is one way, I'd rather speak to God and not hear anything at all than speak to a wall and get death back.
Ooh,
So
listen. And listen, ladies, again, he is single. And so that has been the Stir 716 this time.
Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe.
Yes.
Subscription is free.
Right.
If you're listening on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcast listening platform
Yes,
from,
right.
give us a thumbs up. Even give us a thumbs down. Boo us, whatever in the comments. We just want you to interact, and engage with us.
Right,
We do
right, exactly.
appreciate the feedback.
And this is the only place
Where education meets conversation.
Peace.
Peace. Hey.
Peace out. Listen to this.